All right. Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who were well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David, beginning with the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children out of the 12 tribes whom Yahweh Bashem Shai will have mercy upon. I'm your brother Montes Abath, resided from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Melbourne, Australia. And before we get started, let me just do a quick sound check, make sure that I'm coming in okay. Make sure. All right. Okay. So that's coming in pretty good. I'm happy with that. So as you see here on the screen, this was sent to me by the beloved brother Abaniah from GMS Trinidad camp. And a brother who follows us by the name of Brother Kadya, he actually caught this this live on TikTok. Now, basically, you have who we considered at one point in time a beloved brother who goes by the name of Baruch or Amwan, which we no longer really affiliate ourselves with that individual because they're all over the shop. All right. And what I mean by that is this brother, you know, he started off good, but when whoever he's learning under, he's just, you know, doesn't have the full understanding of the scriptures. He still needs the milk. And then on the flip side of that, you have swordsmen of Yahweh Shai, which we dealt, you know, with these individuals in past times, dealing with the whole 24 elders breakdown and the 7 spirits in Revelation, which I've already addressed in previous time. But I'm going to let this little video play because there's a lot of slandering going on. Okay, there's a lot of slandering going on, and these are the same individuals at one point in time that heard the breakdown, that heard the gospels, that came across the apostles and whatnot. And then just because they go off, they learn a few breakdowns, listen in or whatever, now all of a sudden they think they got it. And now the apostles and the elders are allegedly going off now. All right. So you're going to hear from their own mouth. And I don't want to make this lesson too long, but we're just going to get into it, let them say what they got to say. All right. And then we're going to pull a few precepts and Lord's will, this will be edifying.
Because I don't agree that the whole Bible is the law. These are the same niggas that say you're going to die for having long hair.
Yeah, for having dreads, GMS.
When we got a whole, Numbers the 6th chapter, we got a whole Nazarite vow.
Yeah, bro, that shit is sad, bro. I saw them rebuking a man for like a week, worrying about this man here, bro. And they got faggots walking around.
And why would Paul write that in 1 Corinthians 11? Right? Because you had a lot of homosexuals in the church of Corinth. And in the way they did it, they had their hair like women.
Like women, bro. ISUPK teach that too. I tell them, bro, the Lord is going to judge y'all for that because that's wrong. There's no, Paul says where there's no law, there's no sin. There is literally no law against dreadlocks, bro. But them niggas in GMS, they always rebuke brothers for having dreads. You know, I don't agree with that shit, bro. Abaniah be doing that shit, and I told him about that too. He be trying to be too over righteous, bro. Stop trying to be over righteous, dog.
Hey, what's his name? Raphael. You get it, brother. You get it. You get it. And all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that you get it, bro.
Yeah, Vargas. I think he be with Wi-Fi. He's pretty sharp.
And look, I want to put this out there. I'm always defending Paul, right? There's nothing wrong with keeping what Paul said, right? Because ultimately Paul did follow Yahushua. What we are saying is Paul didn't write any laws. So when you try to rebuke somebody for having long hair, when it's no sin that they say thou shalt not have long hair, That's when it becomes a problem. GMS do that. They rebuke you for having long hair. When we got
Crazy, bro.
right now.
Ain't no man gonna make me cut my hair, bro. No man, because I don't have to listen to no man. I listen to Yahweh Shah. I listen to the Bible, bro. I gotta listen to no man, bro. Every man is a liar. The Bible tells you that. Christ ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so you heard a mouthful, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this back so we can I want to dissect this or what they said. All right, so let me just take it back.
Because I don't agree that the whole Bible is the law. These are the same niggas that say you gonna die for having long hair.
Yeah,
Now, let me address that. I haven't seen whether it's the apostles, and I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for other brothers in Great Millstone. I'm just speaking for myself. I have not personally seen the apostles as well as the bishops and a few of the elders that addressed Israelite have a long hair saying Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to unalive you for having long hair. So my response to you individuals would be, please produce the receipts. If you've seen videos or whatever, all right, we need to see those receipts. Because that's not something that we would tell a Jake, especially a new Jake that's coming in the truth. All right. Because the scripture says in 1 Peter 2:2, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word. We wouldn't just hit Jake straight away and saying, oh, you got long hair. We don't do like what you see IUIC do. Okay, Jake come up at the camp. Next thing you know, where's your fringes? You got to do this. How come you don't keep the Sabbath, this, that, and there? So you see what you're doing is you're putting a burden on our people by doing that. You simply just got to teach the word and then let them come in, and they have to grow. They have to mature within this ministry. You don't just sit up there and just place, everything that we're supposed to do as a nation all on them tenfold and expect for them to just, drop everything and just start doing. No, man, that it don't work like that. So you need to produce some receipts of accusing GMS overall as a whole, saying that if a person has long hair, Yahweh Shem Shah is gonna unalive them for having long hair. And this is exactly what happens when you take things out of context, because that's essentially what's being said here. You're taking things out of context. Now, if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. I have no problems admitting that I'm wrong, and if I went off. But what we're not going to do here is we're not going to slander the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of mainly a Great Millstone, because you're sick and tired of seeing, and really what it is the situation that's going back and forth between GMS and IUIC, which we're not going back and forth. We just calling things out. We're calling out the hypocrisy, because on one hand you have IUIC that is sold the law, but then they do things that's contrary against the law, right? They do things that's contrary against the law. So let me take this off. We're gonna keep that up. And what I want to do is let me share my other screen. Just bear with me real quick and get this up. And let's bring up and let's get this in 1 Timothy 1:7, I think it is. And you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 5 on down to verse 7. It says, now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned, from which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling, right? Desiring to be teachers of the law, right? As you see here, teachers of the law, but what? Understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. Okay. So you have a lot of that going on out here. You have people that, brothers, I should say, or men, okay, that have made up different camps or whatever. Okay. Spirit got on them to raise up and go out there and teach and stuff, but yet they're teaching things that they have yet the understanding of because they are still babes. Okay. And what does the scripture say if you are still a babe within this truth? Let's get Hebrews. What's that? Hebrews 12. And actually, no, Salakia, Hebrews 5. All right. The scripture says this: if you are still a babe. I'm going to start at verse 12, but the point is at verse 13. Hebrews 5:12 says, for when for the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Because really, this is basic Hebrew 101 that you should have learned when you first came into the truth. So you guys need to produce receipts on GMS saying that overall. And like I said, if that be the case, I stand to be corrected. I myself have never gone and told another individual, especially if they're new coming to the truth, hey, you got long hair. If you don't cut it, if you don't cut your hair off, how about Shimon Shah is going to destroy you? These be the same individuals that are going to say, show us in the scriptures where it says that. So in order for you to be a believer, you have to see it written verbatim in the law, not to do that. That's all I'm saying. Now, let me see if I can let me see something real quick. And let me see if I can add this video into my
I don't agree that the whole Bible is the
all right, so yeah, let's come back to this. Salakia.
law. These are the same niggas that say you gonna die for having long hair.
Yeah, for having dreads, GMS.
When we got a whole Numbers the 6th chapter, we got a whole Nazarite vow.
Okay, you're right. Numbers the 6th chapter, it does says that about the Nazarite vow. But my question is this: are you niggas on the Nazarite vow right now? Is every brother who let's say you get a new brother coming into the faith, whatever, let's say he already got dreads or whatever the case may be, are you telling him, oh, it's okay, you can get away with it, just make a vow to Yahweh Shemel Shah, you're a Nazarite now? Is that what you niggas are doing? Because it seems like every time we had this topic that comes up, okay, really, it's a fashion statement with you niggas, man. Niggas want out here want to look cute and shit because you rocking some dreads or whatever the case may be, man. And we're going to show you what the beloved Apostle Tahar actually stated. And this was 5 months ago when he did the video, man. We're going to pull out the receipts in just a second, but let's continue.
Yeah, bro, that shit is sad, bro. I saw them rebuking a man for like a week, worrying about this man here, bro. And they got faggots walking around.
So here's the issue with that, because you'll have a lot of people. Why GMS always going over here and rebuking this, that, and third? Because we are set for the defense of the gospel. Now, if the scripture says, let's come back over here to the scriptures. All right. Let's go to Psalms, the 40th chapter, the 7th verse. It says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. Right now, we here at Great Millstone, being taught by the beloved apostles, bishops, and elders on down, we deal with the volume of the book. So if Apostle Paul, which let's go to the direct precept. All right. Or actually, let's get it in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. If Apostle Paul stated this, 1 Corinthians 11 and 14, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. And that's the difference. That's the separation between man and women. Men are not supposed to have long hair, for the exception that if they are under a Nazarite vow, okay, then that's different. But see, even when you go into that, this is where the problem lies, because now these the same niggas that'll pull out scriptures talking about Samson, he had dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is a heathen custom. It has nothing to do with Israelites. We got many videos on dreadlocks. I can't count how many times myself, other elders, other brethren have done many lessons dealing with that. But the point is here in verse 14, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? What do you think Paul was getting at when he said this? Well, let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 18. And we're going to deal with Absalom. Okay. Now this is when, let's start up so you can get the context. And I'm going to start at verse 2. You know what? I might as well just start at verse 1. It says, and David numbered the people that were with him and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah and Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. All right, David was about that business. Verse 3, but the people answered, thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not care for us, and neither if half of us die, will they care for us? But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou secure us out of the city. So they was looking for the help to be helped out of the city. Verse 4, and the king said unto them, what seemeth you best I will do? And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. Right? So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim. And where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David, and there was there a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. And for the battle was there scattered over the face of all the country, and the wood devoured more people than Salakia, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. Now check this out. And Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth, and the mule that was under him went away. You see that? So when he was riding on that animal, his hair got caught under the branch of a tree. Because when you actually go back a couple of chapters, let me see if I can find it. It tells you, I think it's 2 Samuel, the 14th chapter. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. Yep. 2 Samuel 14. And we'll start at verse 25. It says, but in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. And when he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he polled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. Now, if you read this in a different translation, NLT, it says he cut his hair only once a year, and then only because it was so heavy. When he weighed it out, it became 5 pounds. See what it says in the AMP. It says when he cut the hair of his head, for at the end of each year he cut it, because its weight was heavy on him. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels by the king's weight. All right. This man was boasting in his hair, man, and his looks and stuff like that. But it even tells you here in this context that he even had to shave it. And you know something? That's all we've been saying to certain brothers, man. All right. And as a matter of fact, before I play this video of the beloved elder Apostle Tahar and his actual response of what he said about men having long hair, since you niggas want to sit up there and slander GMS, all right, let me come back over here. Let me get a quick precept, because what about the Levitical priesthood? Let's get Ezekiel 44. Because there was a reason why Paul said, do not nature itself teach you that a man, that it is a shame, Salakia, for a man to have long hair. Now, when you deal with the Levitical priests, okay, it says here, I'll start at verse 17, Ezekiel 44 and 17. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them whilst they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. And they shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins, and they shall not gird themselves with anything that causeth sweat. And when they go forth into the utter court, even unto the utter court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they ministered, and lay them in the holy chambers. And they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. Now watch this. Verse 20. And neither shall they shave their heads. Why? Because that was a heathen custom. Go back to the Levitical law. Nor suffer their locks to grow long, and they shall only poll their heads. So when it says locks here, is that talking about is that talking about actual dreadlocks? No, because as we always show, you got to learn how to look up your words. Okay. Now you look up locks in this manner, you have the Hebrew word para. Okay. It says hair, long hair of the head, locks. Okay. But the point is here, it's not speaking of an actual dreadlock. It's speaking of disheveled hair, which when you break it down, disheveled, it actually goes back to ringlets of hair, because a simple lock, when you get the etymology, let's get etymon online. Let's look up the word lock. All right, Salakia, let's spell it with a K. Now, when you look up the word lock here, it tells you tress of hair, lock of hair, curl. That's all it's talking about. Okay. You remember this character here? Let me see. Okay. Ringlets of hair, man. All right. Here you go. We'll pick this one out. Remember Esau used to show this show back in the day, Goldilocks? It's talking about ringlets of hair. It ain't talking about no damn dreadlocks, man. A lock is a tress of hair, which is a curl. Now, when you look up, when you go back to, let's see, disheveled. Okay. Disheveled, which we got from here, so that y'all don't get ignorant or simple-minded. Okay. When you look up the word lock, para, it's talking about disheveled hair. But when you look it up in the etymology, it's hair that is not dressed, meaning it's not kept. Okay. So that's all it's talking about, deranged the hair. So if you, let's say you grew out an afro, right, and you didn't pick it, you didn't comb it out, it'll become disheveled, and it'll start to lock up into ringlets of curl. That's all it's talking about. So the Levitical priest, okay, when you come back here, the Levitical priests, when it says that they were told not to suffer their locks to grow long, meaning their disheveled hair, it didn't mean that they had dreadlocks. Then it says they shall only poll their head. Now, what does polling your head mean? What must you do? Okay.
Strong's H 3697. Kasam. Kasam.
It says here to cut, clip, trim, shear. That's all it means. They had to trim their heads, man. This is simple. This is not rocket science. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work this out. Now, if you let's go to the Nazarite, okay, because these dudes, they're slow bellies, man. Okay, they still sipping on the milk. You shouldn't even be teaching if you still sipping on the milk. Numbers 6:1, it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman or woman, Salakia, shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahweh, he shall separate himself from wine. I want you to remember this word right here, yayin, okay, wine, okay, and strong drink, okay. It says, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dry. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. In all the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled. Why do you guys always skip this part out? Why do you always skip this part out? Until the days be fulfilled. And when the days are fulfilled, meaning when you fulfilled that vow, because there was a certain period of time, it says, in the which he separated himself unto Yahweh, he shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. Let's look up the word locks in this, which should be if I'm not mistaken, mahachlapat. Actually, no, it's still parah. So disheveled hair. So if you get if you vow a vow of a Nazarite, okay, you would grow out pretty much your curly hair, your disheveled hair, not dreadlocks. And we're going to let Apostle Tahar speak on it in just a minute. But I just got to make this point real quick, because we keep having to go over this, man. So we know that when it says until the days be fulfilled, there's a certain expiration date, right? Now it says, verse 6, all the days that he separated himself unto Yahweh, he shall come at no dead body. And it says, and he shall not make himself unclean for his father or his mother, for his brother or for his sister when they die, because the consecration of the Most High is upon his head. So if any of you niggas is vowing that vow of a Nazarite, have you been around a dead body where so you have to cut your hair off and restart the vow over again? Are any of you niggas doing that? Since you want to go so hard in the paint about the law. Well, I just listen to Yahweh Shai. Clearly you're not, because Paul was taught directly from Yahweh Shai. Paul was giving you that game, man, of wisdom. Continuing on, it says, verse 9, and if any man die very suddenly by him, and he have defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the seventh day shall he shave it. On the seventh day. This is speaking of if he comes in contact with a deceased body. It says, and on the eighth day he shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons to the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. Then it says, And he shall consecrate unto Yahweh the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year of a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. It says, and this is the law of the Nazarite when the days of his separation are fulfilled. Now, when you go deeper into this, let's see here. When you fulfill your vow, showing you right here in verse 18, because there was an expiration date. Because when you go into it, it'll tell you in the history, some only kept it for 7 days, some kept it for a full 30 days, or as Shalom, Brother Abaniah, GMS Hopefully Elect 144 from the Trinidad camp, as he posted here. All right. Yep. You will cut it for the Passover. Because when you went to kill, when you went to kill the lamb for the Passover, all right, you had to eat bitter herbs and you had to drink the wine. See? So it says, so once you fulfill that vow, read verse 18, it says, and the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the fire, which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. So there was a time where you would have to, you know, trim it. You would have to cut it off. But these niggas over here, they ain't got it. So let's go back to the video.
And why will Paul write that?
Let me take it back some.
Whole Numbers the 6th chapter, we got a whole Nazarite vow.
Yeah, bro, that shit is sad, bro. I saw them rebuking a man for like a week, worrying about this man here, bro.
Now let's address that. Because he said, I saw them rebuking a man for a week just because of his damn hair. Well, first of all, no. And I know exactly who they talking about. They actually talking about when Apostle Tahar did the video calling out the hypocrisy of IUIC teaching the law. But here it is. You got members within your congregation that's standing up there wearing fucking dreadlocks that goes all the way down past their shoulder point. So you can't be out there talking about the law, but yet what is your members doing, man? Let's get a precept. Come back over here. Let's get Matthew 7:1. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, judge not that ye be not judged. Right? And what IUIC is doing is they'll be so quick to get on the other people, whatever. But then they'll be judging them. But then when the truth comes out, now all of a sudden, no, we wrong. That's you a fucking hypocrite. And excuse my French. This is what you call hypocrisy. Don't be a hypocrite. That's what it means to judge not that ye be not judged. Don't be a hypocrite. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. So don't sit up there and talk about something. I seen brother GMS is just sitting up there getting on a brother because of his hair. The whole you niggas are effeminate, man. You upset, and that's okay. Because you don't get it. You don't understand the scriptures. That, like I said at camp earlier today, that's not a us problem. That's a you problem. Right? Let's continue.
Walking around.
And why will Paul write that in 1 Corinthians 11? Right? Because you had a lot of homosexuals in the church of Corinth.
Now, okay, since you threw on us to telling us to prove in the law where it says that we're gonna slandering the apostles, saying that if a man has long hair, Yahushua is going to come and unalive you. So I'm asking you, where in the scriptures verbatim does it state that Paul only stated that in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, because you had Jake that was being a mo. The amount of times we didn't ask y'all to come out with factual evidence of information proving the things that y'all going on a rampage of saying, you still ain't brought nothing. So let's hear it, okay, from Elder Apostle Tahar's own mouth on the history of long hair. All right. And this was posted 5 months ago. If a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him. And I am starting around the 11 minute and 24 second mark. Let's go.
Like Gus, which was an Israelite, the Lacedaemonian, which was an Israelite, brought long hair into fashion. There's a fashion statement. Jake men get long hair because it's a fashion statement. That's how they get the galleys, so you can understand. His countrymen saying that it rendered those that were handsome more beautiful. All right? If you were a handsome man, you had long hair, cornrows or whatever, it made you a lot more attractive. And those that were deformed, more terrible. That's the whole thing about the dreadlocks. They call them dread. What does the word dread mean? It means dreadful.
Yep.
When you go back to the 60s or early 70s, when you saw a Benjaminite with dreadlocks, you walked on the other side of the street. Now it's a fashion statement. And back there, women never had no dreadlocks. It says, to one that advised him to set up a democracy in Sparta. So Sparta, anything that had to do with Sparta, they were Jakes, Israelites. Pray said, like Corgus, do you first set up a democracy in your own house? Which is order. Now check this out.
So basically what Elder Apostle Tahar is saying there is when you go into the history during the time of the Greeks, or really anywhere between the Medo-Persian Empire when it was just coming to an end and up until the Greek Empire, all right, this is what was going on, man. Okay, they made it a fashion statement. One, because, oh, Paul just said that because you had Israelites that were, acting like a more and stuff. Now, yes, you did have Israelites back then, okay, that was down with the get down, if you know what I mean. Right? But really, when you go into the history, the long hair came from this. Apostle Tahar just went through it. See, you guys don't know what the hell you talking about, man. You just saying any old type of it's complete madness at this point. Complete madness. So when this is where it came from. You heard it from the beloved Elder Apostle Tahar's own mouth. Go and watch the entire video for yourself. You might learn something. That's what it means when it says study to show thyself approved. So now let's come back to their video.
Wait, and the way they did it, they had their hair like women.
Like
That's
women,
what I'm talking
bro.
about that.
ISUPK teach that too. I tell him, bro, the Lord is going to judge y'all for that because that's wrong. There's no, Paul says where there's no law, there's no sin.
There's no
There is
sin. Even
literally
Paul
no
said it.
law against dreadlocks, bro. But them niggas in GMS, they always rebuke brothers for having dreads.
So my question is, where in the scriptures, you see how sneaky they are when they say that? Paul said, where there's no law, there's no sin. So if there's no dreadlocks in the Bible, how can you be so fucking simple-minded? Let's get a precept in Salakia, Akim, for my language. But when you hear ignorant shit like this, man, see, Jake just make you want to go off the rail from time to time. Let's get this in Proverbs real quick. All right. All right. This is Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. What does it mean, the prudent man, the man that is wise? He's going to search the matter. Okay? The wise man is going to go out and search the matter, like we always say. All right, go back to Acts the 17th chapter. Dealing with see, Paul he loved the church of Berea, and here's why. Acts 17, I'm gonna start at 10. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. Here's the point, verse 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind. And what did they do upon having readiness of mind? They search the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. So everything that was being taught and preached unto them, they had the spirit on them to where they searched the scriptures to see if whether those things were so. Now, on the subject of dealing with dreadlocks, we bring this out all the time. Let's visit Judges dealing with Samson. And let's see. What is it? Judges 16. All right. Judges chapter 16. Straight to the point. And verse 13, it says, and Delilah, which was his wife, said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. Because Delilah was asking, where does he get his strength from? All right. Now, when you go into this word locks, it's not the Hebrew word parab, but it's a different Hebrew word, which is mahaklapa. Okay, mahaklapa, which means a braid or plait of hair, or a ringlet of hair, which actually goes back to disheveled hair, or as we looked up, disheveled, which salakia, lock, which means a tress of hair. Samson didn't have no damn dreadlocks, man. That's a heathen custom. Dreadlocks, when you actually look it up, it goes back to the god of Shiva. Right here, it says the practice of wearing a jata, dreadlocks, is observed in modern day Hinduism, most notably by Sandhus who worship Shiva. All right. And then it tells you Shiva is often depicted with dreadlocks. And when you go into the history, Elam, they were known for doing that, man. That's their custom. And the Bible tells us, wait, let's get Jeremiah. All right. The 10th chapter and the 2nd verse. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. See, what you got to understand is upon coming into this truth, when you start to understand certain things, all right, and you start to get the full understanding around them, all right, being taught correctly, this is where you have to learn how to spiritually discern on detaching yourself away from the society. Don't be a fucking follower, Jake. Be a leader, man. And like the beloved Elder Apostle Tahar said in his video, all you Jakes wearing these dreadlocks, long hair, it's just a fashion statement at the end of the day. That's really all it is, man. Because you want to be a part of the world, because your ass want to be simple-minded. Show me in the Bible where it does say you can't have no dreadlock stuff. Go, okay, well, go right ahead. Like my man Yasharal always says, F around and find out then. F around and find out. And that's, yep, brother put it. GMS Kadash, Shalom, beloved, Yahweh Shem Shah Barakatah. Dreadlocks is dead hair. That's all it really is at the end of the day. So this is why, okay, we have to do these videos for the sake of edification, because we understand we have new people that come in and they get overtaken, okay, by these false teachers, these false prophets, wannabes, which they don't have the understanding of the scriptures. Okay, oh, that beautiful precept. Brother GMS Kadash put Mark 12 and 27. He is not the power of the dead, but the power of the living, yet therefore do greatly err. And that's what it is. They err not knowing the scriptures. They are in error. Right? So let me get back to their video.
You know, I don't agree with that shit, bro. Abaniah be doing that shit, and I told him about that too. He be trying to be too over righteous, bro. Stop trying to be over righteous, dog.
Rob, it was an
So telling our brethren about the history when it comes to having long hair, which all you got to do is look it up. Israelites didn't have long hair. They kept their hair trimmed, except if they did a Nazarite vow. That was the only thing. And even then, when you get, let's go back, because what did Paul do? Did not Paul himself keep the vow? Let's get Acts the 18th chapter. Right? And let's see here. Acts 18 and 18, straight to the point. It says, and Paul, after this, tarried there yet a good while, and then took his leave of the brethren and sailed thence into Syria, and with him Priscilla and Aquila, having shorn his head in Cenchrea, for he had a vow. What do you think that vow was? Did he keep the Nazarite vow forever? No, eventually it said what? He shorn his head. I ain't gonna let no man tell me that I gotta cut my hair and everything. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Jake hates discipline. Jake despises instruction. So what do you think is going to happen to you when you despise instruction? You're going to be unalived. That's in the Bible. Let's prove that. Let's get that in Proverbs. Proverbs 29 and 1. Because see, you niggas been getting rebuked over this same situation for a very long time now. Proverbs 29 and 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. There's your warning. Let's read it in a different translation. Maybe that didn't make sense to you. NLT said, whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. What are you being criticized over? There's a question for you. Let's see. A&P says, he who hardens his neck and refuses instruction after being often reproved, corrected, criticized, will suddenly be broken beyond repair. Oh, I don't like, see, UG and Mesmer, y'all be sitting up there getting on people and y'all be talking all this and leaving people alone. No, what it is you just despise the words and instructions of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's your problem. So when Apostle Paul said, doth not nature itself teach you that it is a shame for a man to have long hair, all you got to do is go back and read what happened to Absalom in 2 Samuel, the 18th chapter. What is so hard about this? I don't understand. But that's okay. Y'all got it, right? Let's go back.
You get it, brother. You get it. You get it. And all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that you get it, bro.
Yeah, Vargas. I think he be with Wi-Fi. He's pretty sharp.
And look, I want to put this out there. I'm always defending Paul, right? There's nothing wrong with keeping what Paul said, right? Because ultimately Paul did follow Yahweh Shai.
Wait a minute. Paul followed Yahweh Shai. So explain to me, if y'all don't agree with what Paul said, because you said, well, that's not a law. Okay, so in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, if Apostle Paul, right, when he said, do not nature itself teach you that it is shameful for a man to have long hair, why don't we see Apostle Paul being rebuked from Yahweh Shai or the other apostles for making such a claim? Paul was just addressing the Israelites in the church of Corinth, like, okay, look, we got to get some order, all right? Because it went back to what Apostle Tahar said. A lot of that goes back under the Greek customs, going back to the Lacedaemonians, having long hair. That was a fashion statement. And the scriptures tells you in Ezekiel to teach Israel to put a difference between the profane and the holy. You supposed to separate yourself. You ain't supposed to sit up here and looking like a damn woman. But see, you try to tell our people that, and then they just go way over their heads, man. And then they can't accept the rebuke, man. But that's okay. You ain't got to accept it from us. You're gonna get that rebuke from Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
We are saying is Paul he didn't write any laws. So when you try to rebuke somebody for having long hair, when it's no sin that they say thou shalt not have long hair.
And I see, I really dislike Israelites that say stuff like that. If it doesn't say thou should not say, it does say. So when Paul said in 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter that it would be best for you to stray away from women, does that mean you're gonna stray away from women in terms of finding your own wife? Paul was just giving wisdom on the game, like, look, man, all right, this is what it is. All right, don't be doing this. Okay, don't be doing that. All right, but stay right here. All right, stay on this path and you'll be all right. You'll do just fine. But no, these niggas got to take it to a whole nother level. Time. Well, it doesn't say thou shalt, brother. It don't say that. Man, come on, man. Simple minded. You ask these brothers who are their elders, they can't tell you, but y'all the same niggas that'll sit up there and take all day long from the apostles of Great Millstone, and then you'll go right back there out there acting like, well, we better. We didn't know y'all going off. The apostles is going off. These men then been out here making their bodies a living sacrifice for 35 plus years, going on 40 years, man. Who are you to sit up here to come up against the apostles of Great Millstone, man? Does not the scripture say, let's grab that real quick. You supposed to go to the elders, man. But no, you said, oh, the elders, they got it wrong. Let's get Jeremiah real quick, the 6th chapter. Jeremiah 6:16 says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. And where's the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we will not walk therein. You're despising the elders who rule well over you, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32:7 real quick. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. But like Isaiah said, like Isaiah the prophet said, what? Who have believed our report? Here it is, the men, okay, a Great Millstone, who I believe the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is resting upon those men, which we don't say that to what's the saying I'm looking for? We don't say that to boasting. We don't boast in any man. We're not boasting in the apostles like that, man. But we give honor to them because they labored in the work. Matter of fact, let's get this here. Let's get this here. Let's get the Apocrypha real quick. Because even the Apocrypha tells you, because you know you're going to have that one J. Y'all boasting in men. Every man is a liar, which we're going to address that bull too. Lord's will. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 8. And I'm going to start at verse 8. The point is at verse 9. It says, despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction, and how to serve great men with ease. And the point being in verse 9 says also, miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as need required. But part of getting that understanding is what? Let's go to Proverbs 4 in verse 7, real quick. Proverbs 4 and 7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. You can have all the wisdom and knowledge, but without understanding, what good is it? It's a waste. It is a complete waste. Let's go back.
Becomes a problem. GMS do that. They rebuke you for having long hair. When we got
Crazy, bro.
right now.
Ain't no man gonna make me cut my hair, bro. No man, because I don't have to listen to no man. I listen to Yahweh Shah. I listen to the Bible, bro.
But and see, this is where the contradiction comes in, because your man earlier said, well, I stand by Paul and everything. So, right. So if you said that you stand by Paul, you back up Paul's words, you give us the breakdown to 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14, which you did say it was talking about men that will be in Moses' church. But no, it goes deeper than that, bro. It goes deeper than that. Give us the history. Like we said, when you got called out on it, okay, we don't see the receipts being produced. And Baruch, you being rebellious, bro. Hey, how about Shemal Shah gonna check that spirit of you, man? You coming in a rebellious spirit, bro. Because the spirit you should have on you is, as soon as you come in and you understand the truth, you get to understand it, you should want to say, all right, yo, I didn't know before, but now I know. Let me do this. I got the beloved brother right now here on a comment board, Ya'asha, okay? The brother can give you his own testimony. When he found out about the whole dreadlocks and stuff, and he went and did his own situation, that brother came back to us with his own testimony, and he cut his own hair. We didn't force that brother to do that. We never forced him to do that, man. Brother had the spirit on him. He went and did it because he had to understand. Hey, the scripture says, let every man be fully persuaded within his own mind. So here it is, when the brother got the understanding, when he got the breakdown, and of course he would have had the spirit of the church of Berea upon him to go and look up these things further. He reasoned within his own mind to go and say, you know what? Let me cut this shit off, man. Let me go ahead and cut this off, because this ain't it. We never forced that brother to do that, man. Goodness gracious, man. And then he gonna say, well, you know, the scripture says, let every man be a liar. But wait a minute, the scriptures also said you have one that need to teach you again. So what, are all the teachers, are men with them being man, they're liars? And you got to see, this is what we're saying. You got to watch out for these Israelites that are calling on the names of Yahweh Shemal Shah, but yet they don't do the things that the scripture says. Being rebellious, being disobedient. There is a hierarchy, man. This is why brothers get upset when we ask them, yo, who you learning off of? Who's your elder? Soon as we say that, all hell breaks loose. Now we're the bad guys. Then here come the slanders. Here come the slandering, the mocking, the laughing, the scoffing. We've seen this every time, man. And this is how it goes. But we understand that somebody got to play that lot. And we're not going to frustrate the judgment of Yahweh Shemal Shah, man. We're not going to get in the way. You niggas are going off. You're going off. This is GMS Kadash posted 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh. He have also rejected thee from being king. And there you go. There you go. Let's get back.
You gotta listen to no man, bruh. Every man is a liar. The Bible tells you that. Christ ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, bro.
And hey, Brother Abaniah posts a beautiful precept. Ecclesiasticus 37:19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. And what makes him unprofitable to himself? Because he doesn't take none of the things that he's been taught, and he does not apply it to his own self. What good is it? You listen, there's an old saying: practice what you preach. So when you make the statement saying that I seen GMS getting on a brother all week long about his hell, well, wait a minute. Tell it right. It wasn't the fact that GMS was getting on a brother the whole week. No, it was the fact that we was calling out the hypocrisy of IUIC. Because what does IUIC do? They go around talking about the law, which don't get it twisted. The law is a beautiful thing. And yes, we are rehearsing the righteous acts. But understand, the law is not going to save you. You cannot be out there on the highways and byways telling somebody, especially a person who is new in the faith, because you're going to put a burden upon them, a yoke of bondage. You have to ease them into it, man. What do you think Acts the 15th chapter was about? When you had certain men who came down from Judea, taught the brethren saying, except ye be circumcised, ye cannot receive salvation. You sound just like them dudes back in the ancient world. When it comes to being disobedient, man, not understanding, you want to rely on it. Well, if it doesn't say this in the law, then we ain't got to go. So because where there's no law, there's no sin. Show us in the scriptures where dreadlocks is a sin. How simple can you be? Show me in the history of our people where the ancient our forefathers going back into the ancient world actually rock dreadlocks. Show us that. And we'll wait. Show us that. We done many breakdowns. We done many lessons going into whether it's Samson, Absalom, proving that they didn't have dreadlocks. Locks goes into disheveled hair, ringlets of hair. If a brother started to grow his hair out right now, because we know that so-called Negroes, they have what? They have a very they have a course of hair. So if they leave it kinky and they don't pick it out whilst they're growing a fro, it turns into ringlets of hair, disheveled hair. That's what it's saying. This is not hard. Like the beloved Elder Apostle Hart said, it ain't the fact that we're telling you the truth of the matter, but it boils down to you being hard-headed, you doing what you want to do. Because what essentially happens in situations like this is when you're out there, you get somebody new coming in, they see you, and they don't really have the true understanding. They don't know no better. They just gonna follow you and think it's all good. That's why you have to be careful of what you're teaching, man. You got to be careful of what you're teaching and the vibration you're putting out there, especially when you ain't solid with the information, when you ain't got it. Brother posted, Sirach 39:24, as his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Right. And that's a huge stumbling block because, see, the brother Abaniah did a video a year ago addressing the issue. And correct me if I'm wrong, brother Yaashia, when you saw whether it was, I think it might have been Abaniah's video, one of the brethren, but when you saw it, you would have went out and done your own due diligent research, and you was persuaded in your own mind of what you need to do on your own accord. Brother Abaniah posted Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. This man ain't said nothing to you, but here it is. You make a live calling the brother over righteous. What was he over righteous at? The same brother that came on his live and asked him, can you do a break? I was there. I attended the live. I was there and I saw it. Brother did a beautiful breakdown. And all he said to the brother who asked him the question about the dreadlocks was, now you got to go and take what we said and you got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. Because, see, you're still stuck in the ways of Babylon, man. Like the video said it with Elder Apostle Tahar. It's a fashion statement to y'all, man. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's a fashion statement. Right? Let me get these precepts. Jim S. Hopeful, let Proverbs 21:16. It says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. This ain't where the living waters is at. You damn sure ain't got the living waters at. You ain't got the living waters. Right? Brother post 2 Corinthians 6:3, giving no offense in anything that the ministry be not blamed. That's right. Because see, what happens is when we do lessons like this, we're forcing you to go into the etymology of words, such as the locks in Judges the 16th chapter dealing with Samson. Look it up for yourself. Does it say he had dreadlocks? Then you want to try to rebuttal that of saying, well, no, it show us in the scripture where it says that dreadlocks was a sin. Paul said where there is no law, there is no sin. Simple-minded, man. I gotta get this real quick. Let's get this precept. Gotta get this. Proverbs, and it will close out. Proverbs 16:25. All right. It says, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you're gonna keep messing around, man. You're gonna keep messing around. And it's okay. Right? GMS Hopeful Elect posted Proverbs 25:18. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul and a sword and a sharp arrow, man. And that's exactly what you brothers was doing, man, bearing false witness on GMS. When have we ever told a guy directly that, hey, you got long hair, your Howard Shah is going to unalive you? We've never said that. Brother come up to camp or whatever, especially if he's new, and let's say he did have dreads and thing. I'm not going to get on him straight away about having no damn dreadlocks. As he's leaving, once he gets edified on whatever it is he's come up to inquire, okay? And I've seen this, and I've dealt with this. I'll just tell him, hey, you know, I just look into having dreads because that's a heathen custom, you know? That goes back to Elam, man, and the god of Shiva. So, you know, maybe, look us up on YouTube. We got lessons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for now, just get the milk. Because at the end of the day, he has to be fully persuaded in his own mind. Just like the brother Yaashia was, man. Never once did we get on the brother and say, hey, if you don't cut that hair, your Howard Shah gonna unalive you. We've never said nothing like that. The scripture says for us to be apt to teach with patience and meekness, man. We ain't just going to sit up there and get on a brother like that. But where you have a situation such as IUIC that'll come and they'll be back digging up the law out there showboating and stuff. Not all of them, but the ones that you know who you are. Okay. But yet you're a hypocrite and contradicting yourself at the same time, because in your linemen, you have brothers that get in lineups, which that goes against the scripture, and then their hair go all the way down to their shoulders. That's what Paul meant when he said, "Do not nature itself teach you that it is a shame for a man to have long hair." But see, the moment you rebuke Jake or you try to give Jake some factual information pertaining to history or whatever the case may be for them to get the edification, okay, when they're not in the right spirit, this sort of things come to pass. This is exactly what happens every time. So oh man, I just wanted to, let you brothers see, and for those of you who haven't seen it in its full, I'm going to take it all the way back so you can hear it from start to finish, and then we'll close out.
Because I don't agree that the whole Bible is the law. These are the same niggas that say you gonna die for having long hair.
Yeah, for having dreads, GMS.
When we got a whole Numbers the 6th chapter, when we got a whole Nazarite vow.
Yeah, bro, that shit is sad, bro. I saw them rebuking a man for like a week, worrying about this man here, bro. And they got faggots walking around.
And why will Paul write that in 1 Corinthians 11? Right? Because you had a lot of homosexuals in the Church of Corinth.
Now, judging based off what these dudes are saying, I will ask them a question because Baruch said out of his own mouth, you got a lot of moles walking around. Okay, Baruch, my question is this. Since you follow what Yahweh Shai say, right, which Yahweh Shai, okay, he quoted a lot of things from the law. According to our law, anybody that defiles themselves with mankind, you're supposed to unalive. Are you keeping that law? Are you out here unaliving the moles? That's a question to swordsman of Yahweh Shai walking around. Are you guys unaliving moles? Just a question.
And in the way they did it, they had their hair like women.
Like women, bro.
That.
ISUPK teach that too. I tell him, bro, the Lord is going to judge y'all for that because that's wrong. There's no, Paul says where there's no law, there's no sin.
Did Yahweh Shai judge Apostle Paul for making the statement in 1 Corinthians 11 and 14? Doth not nature itself teach you that it is shameful for a man to have long hair? I'm going to need y'all to answer that one for me. Did Yahweh Shai rebuke Paul, or matter of fact, did any of the apostles rebuke Paul for making such a statement? Y'all got to produce receipts for this, man.
There is literally no law against dreadlocks, bro. But them niggas in GMS, they always rebuke brothers for having dreads. I don't agree with that shit, bro. Abaniah be doing that shit, and I told him about that too. He be trying to be too over righteous, bro. Stop trying to be over righteous, dog.
But you was the same person at the start that came in on Abaniah's live when he did the whole dreadlocks thing. This is before whatever happened with you, Baruch. We don't know what happened with you, but we kind of got the gist. But this is before all of this went down. You was there when Abaniah did the breakdown. You weren't saying all of that stuff then. Even when me, myself, did the lesson on TikTok and posted it, you liked it. This was a year ago. And if I'm not mistaken, it was around this same time of the year, September, October, when both me and Abaniah did the actual breakdown to the whole dreadlock issue and situation. And like I said, because I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I don't know what's happened since then that has got you acting out this way. But it's all good, man, because it's all the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai at the end of the day.
What was his name? Raphael. You get it, brother. You get it. You get it. And all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that you get it, bro.
Yeah, Vargas. I think he be with Wi-Fi. He's pretty sharp.
And look, I want to put this out there. I'm always defending Paul, right? There's nothing wrong with keeping what Paul said, right?
Well, then I'm confused. You say there's nothing wrong with keeping with Paul. Y'all got to explain 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and 14 verse. Do a breakdown on that. Do a breakdown on that. Because that's not a long breakdown. We don't need no hour, 2 hour break. Don't be like Wi-Fi. When we asked him to break down the mark of the beast, these dudes did about a 5-hour lesson just off the mark of the beast. Nonsense. Straight up nonsense. And the first 4 hours, they was just talking crap, getting on GMS before they actually got to the lesson.
Ultimately, Paul did follow Yahushua. What we are saying is Paul he didn't write any laws. So when you try to rebuke somebody for having long hair, when it's no sin that they say thou shalt not have long hair, that's when it becomes a problem.
No, that's the problem right there. Because that's why Paul had to explain to the Israelites in Rome, when you get Romans the 7th chapter, and also the Israelites in Galatia, when you get Galatia the 5th chapter. There's certain things that's called walking in the spirit. For an example, let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, dealing with marriage, right? First Corinthians 7:6. This is coming out of Paul's mouth. He says, "But I speak this by permission and not of a commandment." Now, you just said out of your own mouth that you pretty much follow Paul and will back Apostle Paul up, right? Well, this is going to see. Watch this. "But I speak this by permission and not of a commandment, for I would that all men were even as myself." What did he mean by that? Because Paul didn't have a wife, which gave him more time to focus on the ministry. "But every man hath his proper gift for the Most High, one after this manner and another after that." Now, when you drop down, there's some more. About the virgins. 1 Corinthians 7:25. "Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment," which means he has no law to reflect back of. It says, "of the Lord, yet I give my judgment." Right? Which judgment can be in a form. It's not saying to sanction someone to be unalive or whatever. No, judgment in this context, meaning he gives his, authority over the matter, his wise counsel. Because where there's no law, okay, of certain things, you still have to give the correct judgment. You have to deal wisely. So he says, "Yet I give my judgment as one that hath obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful." You see? It says, "I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be." Because you have brothers who have made themselves eunuch for the kingdom's sake. Also women. And there's nothing wrong with that. If a brother and a woman in this truth decides to, I'm not going to give myself to anyone, I'm just going to make myself a eunuch into the kingdom, there's nothing wrong with doing that. May Yahweh Shem Yahushua continue to bless you and help you to endure until the end. But we don't go and say now, hey, you got to go and be with this person. Like when IUIC says, if your woman is not in the truth, she got 12 months to get in the truth, and then now you got to do away with that. That's now you doing too much. Now you doing too damn much. Because that ain't a law. And we here at GMS have not told no brother that, hey, Yahushua is going to unalive you for you having long hair. We don't know what that brother got going on in his life, especially if he a new brother in the truth. We're not just going to hop and jump straight into him like that. You bearing false witness. So as you can see in this example here, dealing with in the sense of being a virgin, he clearly tells the virgins, I have no commandment. But yet he just gave his wisdom of what to do in situations like that. Because whether you be with someone or you're not sinning. It's not a sin. As you can see in verse 28, if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. You see what I mean? Because everybody, you know, there's a precept in the Apocrypha where it talks about all men, they don't have the same, how does it go? Basically, every man is different, okay? Every brother is different, man. So you can't just speak in terms of having the authority where everybody's just going to accept what you're saying in regards to all. You need to do A, B, and C, this, that, and the third. You got to have this just because. And I'm speaking from a standpoint if you're just adding something to the doctrine that's not there. That's the difference. This is something that you dudes, Baruch and whoever the guy was from Swordsman of Yahweh Shai, this is something that you guys clearly don't understand. This is where the difference between us and you. This is where we part ways. And it's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, man. But y'all got to stop doing and slandering GreatMillStone. Talking about, I didn't see them do it. No, man, there's a reason why, man. We are set for the defense of the gospel. Just like you probably believe that you're set for the defense of the gospel, but yet you err not knowing the scriptures. Desiring to be teachers of the law, but yet have no understanding what they say or what they speak, roughly paraphrasing. That's 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. Man, so I'm going to leave it off. I want to grab this precept to close out. Brother Abaniah GMS, hopefully elect 144, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15, which says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. There's the difference. Rightly divide a word of truth causes you that you have to go into the history, have to go into etymology of words. You have to go into other things to bring out the point of what the scriptures is actually saying overall. And ultimately, the spirit has to be dealing with you, which clearly the spirit ain't dealing with you, brothers, man. And that's the scary thing, man, because the Lord has a heavy spirit on you, brothers, thinking that what you're saying is correct, and it's not. And we didn't already went over this multiple times, man. So, you know, I pray that, this lesson was edifying. And, once again, I just wanted to address it. The brother sent me the video and I just wanted to speak on it, man, because look, we at this, it just shows you this is another clear example that we are at the end, man. Another clear example that we're at the end. Brothers spend more time airing out their emotions and feelings on TikTok instead of just teaching the word. Break it down for us then if we got it wrong. So I'm going to close out on that, and that's all I got to say on the matter. Shalom.